Exactly how do we heal the sick as Jesus commanded his disciples? Luke 10, verse 9, heal the sick who are there and tell them the kingdom of God is near you. Jesus actually did not say pray for the sick, but heal the sick. What's the difference between the two? Now, praying for the sick is actually praying to God and asking Him to heal the sick person, while healing the sick is actually doing what Jesus did. Jesus did not pray to his Father asking him to heal the sick. Rather, he himself healed the sick miraculously using supernatural authority and power. John 20, verse 30, Jesus did many other miraculous signs in the presence of his disciples. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus performed miraculous healings as evidence to the world that he was the Messiah, the Son of God, the only way to the Father. In John 14:12, Jesus said, very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing. We believers, therefore, should be doing the same works that Jesus did. How did Jesus heal the sick and cast out demons? He exercised authority over them generally by issuing commands. For example, in Luke 4, it says, Simon's mother-in-law was suffering from a high fever, and they asked Jesus about her. Then he stood over her and rebuked the fever, and it left her. Jesus healed Simon's mother-in-law not by praying to God for her, but rather by directly rebuking the fever, commanding it to leave. Let's see how Jesus dealt with demons. Luke 4, verse 33. Now in the synagogue there was a man who had an unclean demon. And he cried out, saying, Let us alone, Jesus of Nazareth. Did you come to destroy us? But Jesus rebuked him, saying, Be quiet, and come out of him. And when the demon had thrown him in their midst, it came out of him and did not hurt him. Jesus also laid his hands on the sick to heal them. Luke 4:40 says, When the sun was setting, the people brought to Jesus all who had various kinds of sickness, and laying his hands on each one, he healed them. Exactly what took place when Jesus laid hands on the sick? Luke 6:19 says, And the people all tried to touch him because power was coming from him and healing them all. In the Elijah Challenge, we teach believers how to heal the sick effectively and fruitfully using the authority and power Jesus has entrusted to his disciples. Luke 9, verse 1, When Jesus had called the 12 together, he gave them power and authority to drive out all demons and to cure diseases. Now, what was the purpose of this power and authority? He sent them out to preach the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. Luke 10, verse 1. After this, the Lord appointed 70 others, who were not apostles, and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. What did he tell these disciples to do? Heal the sick who are there and tell them the kingdom of God is near you. Verse 17, the 70 returned with joy and said, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. The disciples continued doing these things through the book of Acts. Acts 9:33, there Peter found a man named Aeneas, a paralytic who had been bedridden for 8 years. Aeneas, Peter said to him, Jesus Christ heals you. Get up and take care of your mat. Immediately Aeneas got up. All those who lived in Lydda and Sharon saw him and turned to the Lord. Many souls can turn to the Lord when indisputable evidence for the truth of the gospel is presented in the form of miraculous healings which false gods are unable to match. The ministry of the Elijah Challenge is to equip you to be as fruitful as possible in the Lord's harvest field during these last days.